Welcome to the Leaders and Legends podcast. My name is Michael Calamaras, and as host, it's my mission to bring you unique guests and share their stories so you may learn from their journey, their challenges, but also find inspiration in their successes. So give it a listen, take some notes. If you get some value of what you hear today, please share the show and follow us wherever you're at on social media. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Long time no see.
I know. Last time I see you, I was in Miami.
It's a fun time.
We're walking around downtown with your suit and your tape measure.
Yeah. Which,
no tape measure today.
I know. We're in the middle of moving and I always have my tape measure, but I couldn't find it. I always have like 3 in my car. Somehow I don't have any in my car. So really disappointing. Sorry, guys.
Well, happy to have Don on today. Don Carlson's an old friend of mine. I mean, we've known each other at least over a decade, I think.
For sure.
Maybe longer, back from when I would show up with my family putting clothes in the dry cleaners, and you were helping your family out.
Yeah. In the Gulf Gate location.
In the Gulf Gate cleaners location, yeah.
That's crazy. Those are the
And fast forward, here you are opening a third location of your own business, in 24. So I'm really excited to have you on here. We both have similar mentalities about business growth, and that's why we're at the same conference in Miami for 10X. And so I guess, first of all, what brought you to where you are now? Opening your own location, your family has a business. What made you jump into your own business, and why suits, custom suits, and all things you do?
So like you said, my dad owns a dry cleaning business. So he's been in that his whole life. He bought his location in Sarasota in 1989. And then even before that, he had a small dry cleaner in Brooklyn. And so I worked with my dad in the dry cleaning business from 2012 to 2019 and just kind of helped him build a pickup and delivery service where we just pick up and deliver clothes. I love doing it, loved working with my dad. But after like 7 years of that, I got a little bit burnt out. I wanted to build something on my own and build something bigger. So in 2019, me and my fiance went on a 7-day road trip, got inspired to get into the custom clothing business. So the day we got back, I sold my car, bought a 16-foot box truck, built a suit shop inside of it, and then just figured it out.
Yeah.
Literally got down to I went in negative equity on my car, like $7,000. The truck was worth like $19,000. So the whole thing together was like $26,000. So I didn't even know if the bank would finance that, because you know what I mean? It's got to be like worth it.
Yeah.
But they did somehow. And I had like $500 left in my bank account, like legit. And started knocking on doors, selling suits. That was it.
I remember that. You were driving around with the box truck, Tweeds on the side.
Yep.
You still have that truck?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And do you have more?
Yeah, we have 2 others. So in the beginning, I would like park the box truck like on Friday and Saturday nights in front of Classico. My fiance was a bartender there, and I would just park up in front of Classico. And I had a generator that would like power on the lights and stuff. So bad. And I mean, that's how it worked, right?
Yeah.
So the generator would sit on the sidewalk right in front of the Selva customers that are eating a beautiful dinner and just spew fumes. Like, it was terrible. I don't know why I did that. Like, no one ever complained, but like, I was just trying to figure it out. Like, how am I going to get my name out there?
PR is good PR, right?
Yeah, exactly. They never said anything. They're great people. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I would just like literally park on Main Street all the time and try to get people to come in the truck and get my name out there.
Yeah.
Until the city said, you can't do that. You can't just park your truck in downtown and start setting up business.
We need some permitting. They want theirs.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense, So that was the first little roadblock. I still did it at nighttime though, because the city was closed. So, but that's when I bought the second truck. So like 6 months into it, that happened. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? So I found a $1,500 box truck. It was like an old plumbing truck. We built out that truck, and then that one sat in the Connors Taken Seafood parking lot on the Siesta Key Mall.
It's out there, yeah.
And so that sat there for a few years. So the first truck would drive to appointments, and that truck didn't even drive. It was just like the engine was no good. It just sat there 24/7. So people could go into that truck and do the appointment, or we would take the truck to them.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like, they're like mobile billboards, because now you have the actual billboards. I see them every time I'm in Tampa and down here in Sarasota. I'm sure I'll have one in St. Pete if you don't already.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
But those, you drive by, you see the truck, it's just advertising, and you pass it all the time, especially on your way. And I was like, oh, people were like, oh, there's a custom clothes, store around here somewhere.
Yep.
Maybe did not even realize that the truck was
Yeah.
the store at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be funny too, because like, people would come in the truck and like we take payment up front typically. So people would be like, how do I know you're just not gonna like drive away? So now we have the shop, so we
Cross
can't drive
country.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Brick and mortar. They can find you now. 3 brick and mortar spots.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're opening your third space.
Yeah.
What led you to open the first one
Yeah.
and then expand to Tampa and
Yeah.
St. Pete? What's the plan there? What's the strategy?
So what was it? November of 21? Yeah, November of 21, I brought on my first guy, Rob. And we used to play ball together and stuff down in Venice. So like we knew each other really well. And the idea at that point was like every guy is gonna get a box truck, and
Yeah.
like we'd go out on appointments. And so when Rob came on, I got another box truck and built it out. And so then we had 3 box trucks. And at that point, we had just had our first baby, me and my fiance, not Rob. And so like we were doing everything in the house, like pressing the clothes, putting in orders.
Yeah.
So just kind of getting like a little crazy. Like the business was starting to build up a little bit more then.
Yeah.
And like probably 6 months into Rob being with us, or maybe 3 months, I was like, you know what? I think maybe a store would make some sense. And so I started looking and we found our spot on First Street.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
like nothing's been planned out. It's just like taking it day by day, just figuring it out.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I know you have big vision, big dreams, and you're the guy who I'd already known about 10X to some degree, but you're the guy who was like, yeah, I went there and it was a good time and
Yeah.
good people and
Yeah.
good mindset. Tell me a little about that. Like, what's that done for you, and how has that affected the way you're growing the business? And
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to Grant Cardone, Uncle G, for like 7 years or so. And like, really kind of, getting ingrained in like his mindset of like 10X, think bigger, do more action. If they don't know you, they can't flow you, like all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And like, but I would listen to him all the time. Like I just picked him and just continued to listen to him. And so like you listen to it enough and you understand the concepts and stuff, and it makes you think bigger and stuff. So like even back in the dry cleaning days, like I was listening to GC a lot. And so like, I would be up at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, knocking on doors like all day long, just signing up people to the pickup and delivery service. So for me, like it's been huge. Like although I've only really met Grant one time, I got a picture with him. He doesn't know me.
yeah, the obligatory pick.
He's like, he's a great mentor for me.
Yeah.
And you can have a mentor like that, even though you might not,
Sure.
know the person. So yeah, no, it's been huge for me. I mean, I'm grateful for everything he teaches. So yeah, just thinking bigger.
That's cool.
And then going to the events too is awesome because you're surrounding yourself with people who have built bigger businesses. You get to network, and just kind of think bigger.
Yeah.
Cause you may be around, maybe people that don't have like a huge business or aren't doing the right things that not the right things, but the things you necessarily want to do. And so if you can go to a conference like that, you're surrounded by people who want to do better, or people who are already doing huge things. And then, you can up your belief lid or whatever.
Puts a lot of things in perspective. You find you're sometimes in a little bubble because you're running your own game, and being a business owner can be a little bit lonely sometimes because not everyone understands the sort of plight of an entrepreneur and the ups and downs, and others do. And so when you're around those people, you can sort of talk the talk with them and they understand. But then also you're like, all right, we're doing pretty well. And I'm like, but I feel like we feel behind always in our business. Like, hey, we need to grow. And then you're around people at a conference like that where, they have multiple businesses doing, 10X already what we're doing. And they're like, we're behind, their visions are just so big. You're like, okay, wow, I'm not thinking big enough, and it's inspiring to think bigger and have more purpose behind what you do.
Yeah. I mean, the goalposts, like, whether it's good or bad, I mean, just kind of continues to get pushed back.
Yeah.
Like if we were doing what we're doing today, 2 years ago, I'd be like, damn, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, now I'm like, no, I want to be bigger. Like I want to do more. I want to stay busier, have more guys. Like the team's amazing. And yeah, so.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So,
and we get to do a really cool thing, selling custom suits, like get to make guys look good, feel good.
Yeah, I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah, you are. I love that jacket. They're going to a business conference or getting married, whatever it is. Like, we get to be a small part in that.
Yeah. What's the vision as you go forward here? I mean, so you have multiple locations. You start off doing, custom suits and jackets. I know you're doing pants. You have other lines of clothing. Is it what's the expansion plan, I mean, or what's the vision for the future with all that?
I mean, at this point now, we'll have Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete opens in a few months. Probably just nurturing that a little bit and making sure we're, using that to the best of the ability, and then building the team and probably starting to put more processes into place and making sure that,
Yeah.
there's leadership and stuff. And then continue to expand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you've added, and you've done a great job with the guys you brought on, because I love seeing them. They're all dressed like you. I feel like you've been able to replicate yourself pretty well in building out your team. Tell me that process. Where did you find them, and
Yeah.
what's the cultural sort of impact for you as you add these people into your different
I
locations?
mean, for me, it's super important to I would never want to go into a workplace where I'm like dreading going to work like that.
Yeah.
That just sucks, right? So having a good place to like come in and be inspired, and to want to do better is like super important. So like all the guys that I've brought on so far, for the most part, have been like long-term friends. Like, me and Rob played basketball for 10 years together. Me and Mike were in the dry cleaning business, together. Well, like he was in the industry and we met at a conference and like kind of stayed in touch.
Nice.
TJ, I've known for 15 years. Like, we went to high school together, so we were like best buds. But yeah, like all the guys are awesome. We're kind of all like on the same path, on the same mission to just continue to better ourselves. And, the guys are kind of like entrepreneurs within like Tweeds and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which is like super cool.
Yeah.
So they have a mission and a path and stuff.
I mean, it's really great that you had those connections, right, and relationships that you just foster, and they see what you're doing. They're like, "Hey, want to be part of this," and you're like, "I want you to be part of this." And you're right. When I see them running around, we were in Miami at the conference, and they're like, "Hey, almost like they were the business owner. They were being so proactive about what they wanted to do to build their dream, find a client, help people look good." Culturally, what are some of the values or things you've sort of talked about or have put in place? What do you value in building a team as you expand these locations to bring on more people? What are some of the things that you're focused on?
Yeah, I mean, just keeping like a good group of guys together. Obviously, people who can work well together and like sharing each other's wins. Like, someone comes in and, gets the guy into some suits, like, we're all clapping for him, like, yo, like
Yeah.
good job. Like, and just kind of being there for each other. Like I said, the environment and the culture of like having, like literally like a team, like a basketball team or
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's like, someone hits a 3-point shot on your team, like you're high-fiving them, whatever. So yeah, just like continuing to try to keep that culture.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So you mentioned GC as a mentor, and I as well. I think the podcast community has been a great resource for me across many, like Grant, Milet, Groeschel, so many of them, and it's so easy to access information as somebody who needs a mentor. Is there anybody else in your life that you've leaned on for mentorship as you've grown your business, or what's the value of mentor to you over time?
I mean, like personally, like someone in person or just like people I follow.
In general, yeah.
I mean, for a while I was following David Goggins.
Yeah.
Like back in like 5 years ago, I got myself in really good shape and clearly lost it all. But
pretty good.
I got the dad bod.
You got to
going
see
on.
the slim cut.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I listened to David Goggins a lot back when I was like he'd get you up and make you go run 7 miles.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, honestly, like I've really tried to heavily lean into just one guy because everybody has different, views and perspectives and stuff. But actually, no, I mean, a new person that I have been listening to a lot as like the business continues to grow and scale is Brandon Dawson.
Yeah.
Because he's got a different view. Like, Grant's like think bigger, do more. Brandon's a little bit different where it's like, okay, now you got to start putting stuff into place to make sure your operations don't fail as you
Right.
continue to get bigger.
Yeah.
Like making sure you have a foundation.
He's a big process guy.
He's a big process guy.
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Which inevitably is where everything has to go if you want a scalable business, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's only one of you and one of me.
Yep, exactly.
I can only work so many hours in a day. I mean, I
Yeah.
can work many hours if I don't want any sort of other life.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
both have families, right?
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, I mean, having leadership into place, and that's kind of where we're getting to, like, in a point with Tweeds is, I want to continue to build it, is like trying to make sure, like, the foundation stays strong so we can keep going
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. No, I really like Brandon's philosophy on things, and I hope we can utilize some more of that as we grow our business. And the process, and what we found in our end of things on the process side is, especially operations. Like, for me, I'm great at going out and talking to people, and that's what I love to do and can handle and do operations. But no part of it. I do not want to be a COO of the business. And so finding the right person to take over that role and really be good at it. And then it's not just that, it's not just the person. The person can be great, but it's about having these systematized processes to do things, because there's so many moving parts. It's like, we got to fulfill orders, we got to do paperwork, we got to file things. There's customer service. There's so many aspects of it. And especially as you're growing a business where there's, however many clients you're servicing on a week to week basis, and same for us. And you don't want to lose sight of something. And so we built out a really, really systematized process around that. It needs a lot of improvement, but it's, probably 5 times better than it was, 4 months ago. And so
Right, just
that's
always getting a little bit better.
just really
Yeah,
helped us, with being sort of on top of the ball. We can check and we can measure what we set out to do, because that's the one other thing, right? It's like, you can't measure something, how are you supposed to give a good suit?
yeah,
Same thing with goals. Like, if we couldn't measure the results, how are we supposed to know if we're doing right?
right.
And so it made everything measurable. Have you found something similar in the way in your business on the back end of things?
Processes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a good process down in terms of like, when a client comes in, we know what to do, measuring fabrics, all that type of stuff. But there's a few bottlenecks that I'm trying to kink out and figure out. Um, which I'll really kind of focus on that a lot more once our St. Pete opens up,
Yeah.
because now we're just kind of in construction phase of that. And
Bandwidth.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what are some of the other things that you've experienced? The growth conference was my first one. I've
Yeah,
listened to him for a while.
yeah,
You've listened to him for longer than I have. But I met a lot of cool people that had good mindsets. I got a lot out of the speakers. You've been
mhm,
to a few other events. What
yeah.
have been some other takeaways that you've gotten from going to something like that?
Well,
Whether it's 10X or some other
yeah. So
event.
that's, I mean, actually the best thing, my favorite thing. I don't know if you heard Grant say it at this conference. I think it was like opening day. He was like talking about how like what like the super hack is. Do you remember that or no?
I might have missed that
No.
one.
Okay. He was just kind of going off on one of his
Yeah.
tangents, and he was like, the super hack to being like successful and being good at anything or whatever is like just having constant victories, because
Mm,
then it's like, you have a victory and then you
yeah.
want another victory and another one. And so I was like, yeah, that just really resonated with me.
Build some momentum.
Yeah, build some
Right.
momentum. Yeah, exactly.
Like a positive feedback loop and
Yeah.
continue moving forward. I do actually remember him saying that now. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
when he said that, I was like, dang, yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
And it's just tough, because I always have this dilemma for myself. Like, I came back from that conference had already set pretty big goals for 2024 in our business, and they were to double what we did in 23, and we grew by 56% in revenue in 23, which was great. But I'm like, we need to do more, because we need to scale and bring on the right people so that we can have bigger impact and do better for our clients, and for I can focus where I need to focus and working on the business. And so I had big goals set, and I come back and I'm like, I need to set bigger goals, because we won't be able to make the impact we need to make if we don't do that. And then I'm like, but you're like in this internal dilemma of, do I set bigger goals? And yes, obviously we want to attain those goals, but if we don't and it's a failure, is it going to like dissuade me from doing too big of a goal again, versus having some minor victories?
Well, and like one thing Durant says too, it's like, you know, you just make up a target. So your goal is to do like a million or whatever. And the whole 10X thing is like, all right, if you want to do a million, shoot for 10 million.
Yeah.
And then if you fall short of 10 million, maybe you hit 3 million.
Right.
You may have fallen short of the million and hit 700. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, it's still a huge victory.
Still a victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to treat everything like a win, not just because it wasn't the goal you hit, but you did grow and made an impact. And that's, I think, going back to the small victories is, we set up things on a quarterly basis where it's like, all right, we have quarterly rocks. There's a system we operate by, the EOS, Entrepreneurs Operating System, where quarterly rocks that lead to our annual goal. And we focus really hard on achieving those quarterly numbers or quarterly rocks, so that way, okay, we did that. it's done. Awesome. Now let's go to the next one and win
Yeah.
again.
So you can see like the victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe not.
Yeah. And just be on top of it on a shorter term basis. And we can be like, all right, these are the primary focuses in the company. We find that there's so many things going on. I'm sure the same with you, especially with a build out, that there's going to be a million things pulling you in 100 different directions. But there's a few core things that need to get done to grow your business. Yeah. And inevitably, the urgent, loud thing will pull you or me away from them. So we are focused on, all right, these 3 or 4 things are things we're going to measure every week. Everything else is going to come in the noise. But if I don't get that done, I'm going to have to sort of like look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, I didn't get that important thing done. So we're doing that a lot. What goal setting for you, how has that evolved over the course of the last few years as you've grown your business?
Like kind of what you said, like you just kind of like, I'm just looking at like the number we did last year and then just trying to exponentially beat it. And trying to like, for us, to grow like any business, right? Like if you're looking at like the sales like the sales side of it is like, all right, you did, again, let's just look at, say you did $1 million last year and you're trying to get to like, 3x that or whatever, like 3 million the next year. It's like, how do you get to that number? And I think the only way to really get there is just to make sure that, well, number one, obviously you're offering a good product, a good service, right? That's obviously key. But then like making sure that more people are knowing about your business.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to grow if more people don't know about it? So that's why we do the marketing and stuff. So for me, just like my goal is to grow a lot. And so just the byproduct of that for me is like, okay, we have to do more.
Yeah.
We have to do a lot more to grow.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I necessarily have like a goal in mind. If I'm looking at like numbers, I'm just like, I just really want to exponentially beat what we did.
And there were 2 things there I want to ask you about. The good product, the quality product, and the service. Yeah. I think there's an experience walking in.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
And I want you to talk about that. And the other side of it is the marketing, because I think you do a great job at that. But the experience, right? So you come in your store. First of all, it looks great.
Yeah.
Right. You've done a beautiful job of really demonstrating that in your marketing too. But you come in, there's a good experience. Everyone in the store is like really, excited that you're there, no matter who they are, right? Yeah. It's beautifully appointed. So tell me about that experience and what your thought process was as you built that all out.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming in to buy like a luxury product. So like, we want you to be excited about that and have a good feeling attached with that. So like, you come in, we try to greet everybody, say hi, whatever, greet them, offer a bottle of water. When you go through the measuring process, like, we have a bar in the back so you can have a drink. And then we're really sitting down for like 45 minutes with you to understand, what you're looking for. What type of fit do you want? What is this going to be used for? You getting married, whatever it is. And it's all like greeted with a smile and, enthusiasm. And so like, you're going to be coming in and spending some money with us. So we want to make sure that you are having a great time.
Yeah.
Then that's important for us. And we don't like a lot of, like we don't want to be like that snobby old man suit shop. You know what I mean? Like I keep talking about the St. Pete store, but I just cannot wait for that to open because the store is going to be insane. And it's much less of a suit shop and more of an experience.
Yeah.
And so that's what we want to have with our product.
Yeah. It's a good feeling walking into any of your stores, whether it's Sarasota or the one in Tampa that I've been through next to Oxford Exchange up there.
Yeah.
You feel nice. People are dressed nice, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna feel good too because I'm gonna be wearing this like nice jacket.
Yeah.
That's and inevitably everywhere I go, and I wear, I have 2 jackets that I got from you guys, and pants for the suit portion. I always get a compliment on, oh, nice jacket, looks good, right?
Yeah.
And
you can usually tell when it's custom just from like the little details of the fit.
And I have, not like loud jackets, but I know people that are my friends that have some louder, like you're wearing the yellow today. Yeah. Like you have some really interesting patterns and really unique patterns. And every time I see you, I'm like, wow, I never thought like that would look good on somebody. And then I'll see it on you and I'm like, damn, that looks good. Now I want one.
So freaking like Curious George today.
But it looks great. And the inside,
I put Michael
right?
Jordan on the inside of this
one. Jordan's on the inside of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a shot of that on the inside. That's really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's a huge inspiration to me because it's like, put basketball aside, but just like being great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the inspiring thing.
The greatness.
Yeah, the greatness. Yeah.
And I love, and I think this is a widely known thing, but he's like, I missed a lot of shots,
Yeah.
right? How many shots did you have to miss to make the ones you made? A
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
right? He was
Yeah.
just really committed and always worked his ass off. And
It's like the whole thing of like, whatever, if you're doing sales or knocking on doors, like go out and see how many no's you can get.
Yeah.
Because you're going to.
you're gonna know.
Yeah,
Someone's
you're
like,
gonna get
that
no's,
suit's
yeah.
too expensive, or
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't see myself in that. But
I moved to
next
Florida
guy's
because
gonna-
I don't ever want to wear a suit again.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard some interesting ones.
Oh,
What,
yeah.
what other ones
You know,
here?
next time I'm going to wear a suit is in my coffin. You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
for some people the
Yeah,
situation
which
down
is
here.
fine. I get it. It's like
It's cool.
Yeah, I understand.
But you know what? Now
It's-
you do have a high end gym shorts line.
Yeah, we
now,
do
so
some
it's
gym
like, You don't
shorts
wear
and-
gym shorts? Come
yeah.
on, everyone wears comfy shorts.
Yeah, so TJ came up with this line whenever someone says, "Yeah, I'm retired," you know, whatever. He says, "Well, we also do like retired menswear as well."
Oh, nice.
Or something like that. But I thought it was-
We actually have a niche in that space.
yeah, exactly. Just kind of keep the conversation
We
flowing.
do. What do you mean? What does that mean? Niche in this space.
Come on, I'll show you.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Yeah. So to tie that into the marketing, I think if out of anyone that I know, other than like major influencers, I feel like you guys absolutely crush marketing. Every time I see your things, I'm like, that's a nice suit. I really like that. I'm like, wow, he's really out there. He's visible. You had someone doing a testimonial, videos of you.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about that process. Like, what brought you there? What inspired you to do what you're doing on that front? Because it's great. And the billboard. So
Yeah.
it's like, not only you're doing digital, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's like crushing the digital game. And then I'm looking up one day and I'm like, there's a billboard that says Tweeds on it,
Yeah.
right?
Omnipresence, right? Just being
Yeah.
seen everywhere and just making sure your message is like, you know, you're not just like throwing a bunch of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like every billboard we have is the same thing. It just says Tweeds custom suits.
Yeah.
And then wherever the location is closest. But I mean, just going back to the GC thing, because like I do think it's important. Like if you're watching this, you want to start a business or whatever you're doing, or you want to be inspired to do more. I don't know what it is, but like, you know, or you want to grow your own business. You have is like there's a thing called Business Boot Camp that you can do at GC. It's like a 3-day event. You get a big workbook, and you follow along. But like a whole day is on marketing, and it's just the whole idea of like, you know, all these big businesses that you see, you know, Morgan and Morgan, whatever it is, like they spend billions of dollars getting their name out there.
Yeah.
And so like the core principle for me, and it just makes so much sense, is just like, if somebody doesn't know who you are,
Yeah.
how could they do business with you?
Right.
And I know there's so many more people in Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, that just have no idea what Tweeds is,
Yeah.
even though we do so much. So like, how do I get in front of that person?
Yeah.
Go to every event, do every piece of marketing I can, put billboards up, do Google PPC, whatever it is. How do I get in front of it? Go, you know, go to happy hours.
Yeah.
And so the marketing is just, I love the marketing. I love that aspect of it. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
So
That's really
Yeah.
cool. You do a great job of it. And that's the same experience for us. There's only one of me, and I'm out in a lot of things all the time.
Yeah.
My wife isn't like that a lot, but I'm out at almost every event I can be at to talk to people. But there's plenty
So
of people that,
important,
are locked in their country club or something, right? You may not see them, and they need a sports coat to go to the country club, right? Like they're out there, but how do you get in front of those people?
How do you find
right?
them? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we do a lot of like we had a lot of personal introductions and things like that are very targeted, but that's, again, only one of me, only one of our people on their team. So how do you expand the reach and amplify it? And you're doing a great job of that, right? Social media has made it easier to do it, but also it's very inundated. So I feel like you do a great job of cutting through a lot of that noise. Every time you see something, it's eye catching. I watch it. I don't just like scroll past it, right? And that's important. That's really cool. And I love the billboards and the trucks, and like that's very clear. It's very concise. You can see it, and you're like, oh, Tweeds. Oh, custom suits.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks very like pristine. The sign is pristine, right?
Yeah.
And it's very visible in a high traffic area.
Yeah.
Every time I get my hair cut, I walk out, there it is. I'm gonna go stop by and see what they're doing over there.
Yeah, you can't forget about us. It's like we're like I always say too, it's like, because we aren't a niche business, right? I'm not blind to the fact that people don't wear suits all the time anymore. I get it. But when you need a suit, I want you to think of us.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that there's a better option out there. I think there's a lot of people that don't know You know, their mind, they think a suit, they automatically just trigger Men's Warehouse,
Yeah.
Dillard's, whatever, Saks
Yeah.
for the nicer stuff. I want people to start triggering tweeds. Like
Yeah.
they think a suit, they think tweeds.
I also feel like people think suit initially and they think stuffy,
Yeah, 100%.
stoic.
Yeah, 19, you know, baggy, boxy.
Yeah.
I always like to also think stiff, yeah, which is just, it's just not
uncomfortable.
You know?
Like I'm gonna feel like I'm really, like that. All the things that in the past I thought of when I thought of suit. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I had a lot of those suits.
Yeah.
I go back and I'm like,
you watched the last, what was it, The Last Dance?
Yeah.
The suits on, Michael Jordan and stuff. Like.
It's big boxes.
Yeah.
I just love that. It's like just zero fit. It's just baggy, and that's what they look back then, right?
I mean, he looked gangster though. Like,
I mean, you could pull that off now. Like, bring it back.
On the,
You should bring a line out. Just go back
do
and bring
a drape cut.
Yeah,
We'll call it The Last Dance.
The drape cut. It's a big baggy drapey jacket.
Shoulder point out, like.
The pants were wide, too.
So wide, dude. So long.
Zero.
I'm sure it's coming back. I'm going to find myself in 2 years wearing it.
I think so. It. Yeah. I'll see you walk down the street.
And actually, I have seen that the style come back a little bit, but I still can't see myself. But a lot of, I wear a super slim fit. So
yeah,
I get comments all the time. Like I was at Cascanale a few weeks ago, and an older gentleman came up and he's like, telling me my pants are too short. I'm just like, I mean, maybe to you, but that's how I like it.
Everything goes in phases, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because now I look at all the kids and they're wearing all the things that were like out in the 90s.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're wearing the baggy jeans again.
Yeah.
And like the bucket hats are back.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
It just all comes in.
I think that would come back.
It's
making a comeback. Yeah. It went from like baggy to tight to baggy again.
Yeah.
I'm more of a tight fit pant guy.
Yeah, me too.
I can't do the baggy stuff anymore.
100%.
Shorts. If it's touching my knee, it's too long. Like it bothers me.
Oh my god,
it bothers me.
Inch past
Makes me
knee.
cringe. I'm like, I can't do it. Can't do it. Shirts, I'm doing a little bit more baggy these days. I don't do like fit shirts. I like the baggy shirt fit. But,
like a dress shirt or a t-shirt?
More like a t-shirt.
T-shirt, yeah.
T-shirt.
They have those like the style where like the shoulder point comes down to like here.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's interesting.
Yeah, like the sleeves are too short and they're like sticking it. Nah, like you want the longer sleeve on the shirt for me. But the jacket, like a good fit, it's gotta fit good. It's gotta be like tailored nice, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta fit on the shoulders nice. And there's just you're helping redefine what like nice dresses and like in the middle where it's like cocktail and all that too, right?
Yeah, we just we want, like you said, like people, there are people that think it's suits and they think snobby or corporate, like, oh,
yeah,
you're wearing a suit, like you have to wear a suit every day. You're like in corporate America or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't even like companies don't even do that much anymore.
It's rare.
Yeah. So
the culture has changed.
No,
and with the whole work from home thing, I mean, have people are at home now.
So. Yeah, right. Exactly. And the cool thing now is like, you don't have to wear a suit. You decide to like put on a suit.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to do it every day, but like, even if you're taking your girl out on like a Friday night, like pop a pair of jeans on, a pair of Jordans, a t-shirt and throw a jacket on, like put a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah, there's a lot more dynamic use for a jacket now, right? Like
yeah.
I've done jeans and the tee and a jacket, right? It's just you don't have to be in like the full suit.
Yeah.
You can just be like this. I'm wearing a jacket with a button down, but or button up, whatever. Whichever one's the proper term for it. I always get criticized for button down because my collar doesn't button down or whatever. But whatever.
But then you got the jeans on and you got
the jeans and
the Jordan Jays.
Yeah. So I've done the tee look with the sports coat because you can do that, right?
100%.
And if you have a nice jacket, you can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
And you can look good in a number. And it's important, in my business, I'm face to face with people all the time. I'm out talking to people all the time, right? But it's not just my business. When I was in more of an office role, for you to be sort of looked like as someone who is serious about what you do, like you have to look good.
Yeah.
Like you have to be sort of wrapped like 360 aesthetically pleasing to all people. Like, hey, like I'm not just a slob coming in here and working. Like I'm never gonna get a promotion. If you're gonna be the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You want to do your own thing, you run your business, and that was my thing. Like I could technically do whatever I want, but
you decide to dress up.
You want to look nice, right? You want to be presentable. You want to be,
and dressing to your audience too.
Yeah, exactly.
You're meeting a younger dude, maybe you meet or something. Like if you're meeting an older couple, do you dress a little bit different or no?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah,
I think I dress nice.
I think this is
right?
pretty much good for
Yeah.
younger, older,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think people respect if I have it, we're looking nice, right?
Yeah.
But may not wear J's, man. Wear loafers, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That'd be that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's
like,
just,
there's
like,
subtle
that
thing.
changes the whole thing. Right?
Changes the whole thing. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that's about it. But I think it goes for anybody, even someone who, I know business owners who run trades companies. They're HVAC, they run, roofing companies. And yeah, during the day in their office with their people, they're not wearing a jacket, but they're wearing like a polo. But they go out at night or they're doing a networking event for their business. Even though they're a trades company, they're still wearing like a nice jacket, right? Like they want to be presentable. Like they're a business owner. They want to look nice,
Yeah.
So, and show that that you're seeing success,
100%.
Yeah. So outside of running TWEEDS and running a third TWEEDS, what else is going on?
I mean, we got the babies, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. Donnie's, that's my son. He's Donald the third. He's 2.5, and then Basil's 10 months. Pickleball's fun. You really see my competitive side when I pickleball. I feel bad. But
Well, you got the length, man. You got the reach.
Yeah. It's super fun.
What's your wingspan?
I don't even know. It's usually your height, right? Maybe if you got really long arms.
If you can extend out. I mean, because I play tennis. I haven't played pickleball, but in tennis.
Would you be down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can do it. Okay. I'm down.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm cursing. I'm yelling. Like there'll be kids.
There's only one way, man.
Yeah. We play at Pompano Park usually.
Gotta win.
Behind the Ringling, or behind Robarts Arena.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel bad because I can't help it.
Yeah.
I'm just yelling.
You're just in it.
Yeah, I'm in it. And I'm pissed.
You want to win.
So, yeah. Are you like that? Or?
I can be. I get that way.
Okay.
Like if I can turn it on or off. Or we're just playing. I'm like, all right. Like I'll just say, okay, this doesn't matter in my head, and none of it matters, and just be like, whatever. If I was playing with let's say I was playing with my kids. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like okay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, this is gonna be competitive. Like you want to win this. And be like, all right, like I'm in this. Yeah. I used to play tennis, and I wasn't very good at tennis, but I was super competitive at it, and I'd be all over the place, and be diving across the court,
hitting it behind your back,
all that crap. Oh man, well, that's cool.
No, so
what happened to the magic?
I mean, TWEEDS is my magic now.
Yeah,
it's I mean, I've always kind of picked one thing and just get obsessed with it. My personality, I just can't help it. But before the dry cleaning business, I was literally obsessed with doing magic. Yeah. I would not, it was my every day, all day, all night. I just had a deck of cards in my hand and practiced all the time. And I thought I was going to be a magician. I worked at Universal Studios, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And
what were you doing over there though? I don't know.
I was a magician.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Doing magic shows at Universal Studios.
Where in Universal was it?
So I didn't work actually for Universal. A gentleman had a magic shop inside of Universal where he did shows. Oh, and so he I think had to give 35% of his sales every day to Universal. Oh, I think that's how that worked. So I worked for him. Super cool dude. And so I just did magic shows all day. I did that for 6 months and I got fired because I couldn't sell enough magic. Because it was a sales position type thing. And there were some guys that were just really good. And I liked sleight of hand. I wasn't like the cheesy magician stuff. I don't know. I just like the hard stuff to try to practice. And so anyway, before dry cleaning it was that. And then the dry cleaning came about and I just was okay.
All in.
I'm all in on this. And the magic fell off to the side. And then TWEEDS came about and now I'm just Oh, and then at one point too with the dry cleaning, I was really into the working out and stuff. And but
yeah. No, it makes sense. You got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
I think it's and Trey Williams was on here a few weeks ago and he was talking about 100% obsession and sort of intentional focus. And obviously when you have a family and a business, there's a lot of sort of things pulling in a lot of directions, but you got to be obsessed with what you're doing and obsessed with in that moment. And so there's only so much room for other things. I'm always impressed by people like Elon Musk who can have 4 different companies.
Yeah, that's insane.
6 different things pulling in
a
different
robot.
directions. Yeah, he's AI, man. Yeah. He's an alien from their planet combined with machinery.
I don't know what to think about him.
But it's like, I think that's great, right? And like, that's how I treat what I do. And every time we have a conversation at home, and it's like, I'm always talking about the business. I'm like, I should probably try to talk about something else, but I'm like, but I'm excited about this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like, what do we do today?
yeah,
Like, who are we impacting and how and all that stuff. And
yeah. Just your mind just automatically goes to that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're excited, right?
yeah,
You're doing something really
yeah.
cool.
Just a random person asks you like, "How you doing?" I'm like, just go straight to business. I don't even know the guy. Like, oh yeah, we were great. This is great today. A lot, we're busy day. Like, no, like, how are you doing? Like,
How are you doing inside? I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm really great. I'm stressed, but I'm great.
Yeah, just one track mind.
That's the one thing about doing what you love, right? Which is, you love what you're doing, I love what I'm doing, is that even in like, even with stress or having a bad day or whatever, it's 10 times better than if you had a bad day working for somebody else.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Doing something you're like moderately in,
Or if you don't
engaged in.
have like, same thing. It's like if you don't have a vision or like a mission.
Yeah.
Because like I do think like, you can work for somebody else, and if it's a good company, like, you can be inspired to want to grow that company and
Yeah.
be, that type, but like if you just like wake up every day and like you like don't want to get out of bed, like
Yeah.
I just don't ever
You're
want
not
to have that
culturally
feeling.
engaged.
Yeah.
That's what Michelle Kerpillian, CEO of 40 Carats, who was on here as well. She's a nonprofit, and that, doesn't pay people a lot of money, but the people that are there are making day in, day out, like a deep impact on families.
Right.
And so those people like really care.
Yep.
And so, there's a mission, there's like inspiration for them to get out of bed and do those things. And, your people feel like a family. They come into work. You don't want people to come in and not feel like they feel like they don't want to be there. Right. So I think you're right. Like, being engaged culturally, being engaged with a mission and impact, like, you make people feel good. Who knows? Like, someone might come into your store and put on a nice jacket and then go out and like have a completely different confidence about themselves, whether it was like, hey, I'm going to go, maybe it's dating, maybe it's in the workplace, maybe it's in their own business, whatever it might be, proposing, it could be anything. Right. And so you do make an impact, and it's close, but you never know how that changes how they feel. Cause right. Like, I always feel like, oh yeah, I feel pretty good in this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's just psychological. That's
Yeah.
like there's studies been done about that.
Yeah. So the impact is important, and same for us. And
I mean, dude, like I always say this too. It might be cliche, whatever, but it's like, a cop puts on like their uniform.
yeah.
Like if a cop didn't have a uniform with like everything about him, like you wouldn't see him the same way, and he wouldn't see himself or herself the same way.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So yeah, I mean, and just having like that difference, like if you just go through every day, wearing a pair of, a shirt and a t-shirt in your personal life and in your work life, I just do think that there's something there. It's like, all right, when you get out of bed and you're going to work and you change, even if it's just a pair of jeans and a polo, whatever, put a suit aside, then like, all right, it's like your work time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's something to that.
Yeah. No, I think so, mentally. But for sure, I mean, just the gratification of doing something where you feel like there's a true impact is a completely different thing. Yeah. People are like, how are things going? And there could be a horrible day for the business or us or whatever. Whatever it could have been. I'm like, yeah, some struggles, but man, it feels so much better than how it felt before when there was a bad day, because you're tying it to an impact. It's just a bump in the road.
Yeah.
There's a bigger,
you can't stress over that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just kind of like, obviously you have a problem, you got to fix the problem, but don't fixate on the problem, I guess.
So you're 30, what now? 31 now. 31 now. And multiple locations in a business. If you were to go back 10 years and tell your 10-year younger self anything, what would it be?
I don't know. What do people usually say here?
That's
just keep going.
Work harder.
Work harder.
Could be anything.
Just believe in yourself, I guess. And I don't know. So bad with that.
I always think about that because 10 years goes by so quick, and I'm like, I feel like yesterday I was 26, and then that was a different phase of life, right? And all that. You're like, man, save a little more, or work a little bit harder. It's not to be anything major, but 10 years makes a big difference. And so I think you have a real good mission. You're growing. Now at 41, like what are things gonna look like for you? And I have no doubt it's gonna look really great.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. Like, I got chills right now to think 10 years down the line. It's like, oh, you think what do you tell yourself 10 years younger? But yeah, you just never know where life's gonna take you. So I guess we'll have to do this again in 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you've had 10,000 people on the podcast.
Man.
Well, maybe not 10,000.
That'll be awesome.
That'd be a lot. That would be 3 people a day.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Well, Kareem would love that. All right, man. Well, it's good to have you. I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This has been the Leaders and Legends podcast, hosted by me, Michael Calamaras. Subscribe so you get notified when the next episode drops. Share the show and spread the love. We really appreciate it.